Well, speaking of keeping us safe in our practice on the yogic path with breathing, the yoga system has remarkable protections in place for doing this. And I'm very fortunate to have my guru. His name is Dharma Mitra. And he's been teaching in New York for over 50 years. And he always would begin every class, and still does, by speaking about the ethical principles in yoga. But these are not just found in yoga, they're universal. And the most important one is compassion, compassion and love for all beings, even animals, and even for our own selves. And sometimes that's the hardest one, is to give the compassion we give others to ourselves. And I think that all of us near him found that when we were directed to breathe with every breath done with love, that the breath started to slow down and the breath started to normalize and to become more comfortable. Because the quality of divine love was so overpowering to the mind and calming to the mind. In the yoga system, it is said that every being is actually born with a certain number of breaths. All humans, all animals, we all come in with a certain number of breaths. And when these breaths run out, then it's at that time that the soul leaves the body. So in the yoga system, we practice pranayama, the control of the breath, to naturally slow down the breathing so that we can have a longer life, not necessarily just for enjoyment, but so that we can progress spiritually for a longer period of time and to have more useful years of service for others. So the concept of Dharma is related to the breath. The way I learned about the idea of Dharma was that Dharma means that we all have a duty, a certain path, a certain soul mission. And it's our job to uphold righteousness in the world. And that could be something short-term, a circumstance right there in front of us in daily life, or it could be a much more long-term sort of global view about our life path in general. What's the goal of our whole entire life? And we all have many different dharmas in our life at different times, but the overarching dharma is to eventually realize our true nature, that dwelling there within our heart is a portion of God, a portion of divinity, a portion of this formless, nameless creator that we all have in common. But it's very difficult for the mind to settle down and gradually become more and more aware of this essential nature that we all have. If we are lying, if we're stealing, if we're hurting others, if we are ignoring our purpose for being here. So the foundations of yoga began with the ethical principles: truthfulness, compassion, non-stealing, non-harming, surrender to a higher power, not taking too much. And it's said that even just trying to do better at these techniques, these principles, gradually helps our psychic channels to clear, and we begin to understand things a little bit better. And then we might have more insight into why are we here, what's our true purpose, what is the best choice for us about what to engage in or what to embark on. So where the breath is concerned, if we're not doing our dharma, it's very hard to slow down the breath. The concept of dharma is so beautiful when you think about it. You know, so often when we embark on a spiritual path, especially if we're relatively new to spiritual things or spiritual life, it's so easy to feel if my life had better circumstances, then I could really succeed. You know, I need to renounce everything and leave and go to the Himalayan mountains or to a cave or join a monastery or a convent. And if it's your job in this life to do that, of course you should. But the idea of Dharma is incredibly beautiful because it's a great equalizer. No matter what all of our different circumstances in life, what difficulties we have in front of us, this God-given idea of Dharma gives all of us a direct path to God. And this is irrespective of our religion, of our belief system, or our station in life. The idea of Dharma says that just by doing our duty, just by doing the work that we have to do in this world, in this moment, just by trying to renounce the fruits of our actions and do our work because it has to be done as an offering, with just trying for selflessness, maybe not even succeeding fully. In doing these things, we can reach God in this very moment. And if we want to succeed in our breathing practice, to improve our health, to improve our level of spiritual awareness, to improve our peace of mind, it's by endeavoring to do our Dharma that we can gain a shortcut in controlling our breath by removing obstacles that are in its way. If we fill our minds and hearts with thoughts of love and compassion, imagine how the next breathing practice would really be. I really believe that breathing practice is universal. And this the breath is a link between the mind and the breath itself and the body. So that yogis always know to calm the mind, we work with the breathing. And if we need to calm the breathing down, we can work at stilling the mind in other ways too.